Welcome to the class, students. Today we are going to discuss chapter 11, motion and measurement. Let's warm up. What do you see in this picture? What is the stone indicating? It is an ordinary stone or a milestone. What does it tell us about? So students, look at this picture, observe the things and write the answers. Get it? Let's know about measurement. How is length measured? What is motion? Types of motion. Get it? So these are the topics we will discuss in this chapter. Let's begin. In order to know how far one place is from another, we need to find the distance between the two places. Distance is the length of the path between two places. If we measure the length of the path between the two places, we know how far they are from each other. So length is measurable quantity. Any quantity that can be measured is called a physical quantity. Length, mass and time are three fundamental physical quantities. Volume, capacity and temperature are other physical quantities. So students, जिसको हम measure कर सकते हैं, that is our physical quantities. और हम length measure करते हैं किसी दो points के बीच की distance हो सकती है, कौन सा point कहाँ है, ये सब चीजें हम measure कर सकते. So they are physical quantity. Now we have, why do we measure things? Measurement is the basic of all sciences. It plays an important role in our daily life. We often take measurement of length, time, mass, volume, area of different objects and quantities. What is the distance between Delhi and Mumbai? How far is the school from your house? What is the length of your science book? To answer all these questions, we need to measure the length. So students, if you want to answer these questions, what you have to do? You have to measure the length. Whenever we buy rice, wheat, flour, sugar, fruits and vegetables from the market, we measure the mass. Get it, students? Now come to the next. At what time do you get up in the morning? How long does it take to reach the school? At what time do you come back from your school? Such type of questions are related to time. When we buy milk, oil, petrol, etc., we measure the volume. When we fall sick, the doctor measures our body temperature. Get it, students? Now, how do we measure? From the examples given above, you can understand that different things are measured in different ways. These measurements depend on the purpose for which we measure and on the properties of the quantity or substance to be measured. Usually, we measure length, mass, volume, current and temperature. Get it, students? When we measure a quantity, we compare it with a standard value. For example, length is generally measured in meters. Mass is measured in grams or kilograms. Volume of liquid is measured in liters. These standard values are called units. All measurable properties of matter have units, but these units vary from place to place. In earlier times, mass as measured in tola and said units in India, but in pounds in UK. Similarly, length was measured in gauge and distance was measured in cos, about 1.8 km or yojan in India, but in yard and mile in UK. Values of these units differ from each other, which leads to confusion in the exchange of information between countries. To overcome this problem, a standard unit for measuring were developed by a group of scientists from all over the world. This was done in a conference on weights and measure in France 1960. The set of units adopted in this conference is called the SI system of unit. Les Système International des Unités in French. The SI units are adopted by people all over the world in all areas such as education, research and industries. These help countries to exchange information and trade with each other smoothly. The following table gives the basic 7 SI units of measurement. So students, if we discuss about this thing, in earlier time क्या होता था, हर एक कंट्री की एक डिफरेंट यूनिट थी. अब अगर सपोज आपको बताना है दिल्ली मुंबई से कितनी दूर है, इंडिया अपनी यूनिट्स बताएगा, यूके अपनी यूनिट्स. सो देयर इज सो मच कंफ्यूजन बिटवीन द कंट्रीज. टू ओवरकम दिस प्रॉब्लम, साइंटिस्ट ने मिलकर एक एसआई यूनिट्स बनाई और उन SI यूनिट्स को आज के टाइम में हम सब फॉलो करते हैं, वो हमारे इंडस्ट्रीज हो, रिसर्च हो, एजुकेशन हो, हर एक फील्ड में, हर एक कंट्री में यूज की जाती है. Now look at this table. We have quantity, unit name, symbol, length, meter, m, mass, kilogram, kg, time, second, s, temperature, Kelvin, K, electric current, ampere, A, number of particle in substances, mole, mole, intensity of light, luminous intensity, candela, CD. So these are some standard units. Sometimes these units are not suitable for measuring a given quantity. In such cases, they can be made bigger or smaller by multiplying or dividing by factors of 10. For example, so students हम इन units को change कर लेते हैं, but जिसमें हम change करते हैं वो भी standard units ही होती हैं. Look here, look at the first point we have. Smaller masses are measured in grams. 1 gram is 1000th part of a kilogram. 1 gram is equals to 10 raised to power minus 3 kg. Similarly, large distance can be measured in kilometer, which is 1000 times bigger than meter. 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 meter. Very small distances are measured in centimeter. 1 centimeter is equals to 10 raised to power minus 2 meter. Get it, students? Hence, SI units can be changed to suit the needs of measurement. In this lesson, we will learn about how we measure length. Look here. How is length measured? Length is one of the most common physical quantities that needs to be measured for various purposes. Length can be defined as the distance between 2 points. Look at this picture. Here is a milestone. Since ancient times, length has been measured in different units. Some of these units are as follows. Look here. Hand span. It is a distance between the tips of the little finger and the thumb of the hand when it is stretched. Come to the next. Cubit. It is the distance between the elbow and the tip of the middle finger of a hand. In ancient Egypt, cubit was used as a unit of length. Now we have footsteps. Distance between the 2 feet when a person takes a step. Ancient Romans used this unit as a unit of length. Get it, students? So these are some different units which used in earlier time. Look at this picture, a hand span, a cubit. You can understand that these units have different values for different people because the size of a hand or foot varies for different people. So if the length of a table is 7 hand spans with your hand, it could be 5 hand spans with your father's hand. Look at this picture, hand span of a child, hand span of an adult. So there is a difference between them. Do you know, in 1790, the metric system was developed in France. The unit of length was named meter, which is derived from the Greek word metron, meaning a measure. A meter was a portion of the distance between the North Pole and the equator along a particular meridian passing through France. The unit of volume was derived from the unit of length. Also, larger and smaller multiples of these units could be created by multiplying or dividing by the powers of 10. Thus, this system was a decimal system because conversion could be done by shifting decimal points. Get it, students? You all know about these things, that we convert our units by displace the decimals. Gradually, the metric system was adopted by many countries because it was scientific and simple. In modern times, this system has evolved into the SI system of unit, which is now universally accepted. The SI unit of length is meter. It is useful to measure short lengths and distance. To measure very short distances, units like centimeter and millimeter are used. 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeter. 1 centimeter is equals to 10 millimeter. The devices used for measuring small lengths are measuring tapes or meter rods. You measure length with the help of a 15 centimeter ruler or a 30 centimeter ruler. You have to follow the correct method to measure the length of a given object. Activity 1. Aim to measure the length and breadth of a rectangular box. Method. Keep the box on a horizontal flat surface. Take a ruler and place one end along the side of the box. Do not start from the edge of the ruler as it can be broken or rounded. Start from the 1 centimeter mark. The ruler should be positioned straight. Note the point on the ruler till which the box extends. Get it, students? So that's how you can measure the length of a box. Subtract the initial reading 1 centimeter from the first reading to get the length of the box. Look at these pictures. That's how you have to measure. Measuring the length and breadth of a rectangular box. Now, errors in measurement. There are 3 types of error: personal error, instrumental error and environmental error. So these are the 3 types of error in measuring. Activity 2. Aim to measure the length of a curved wire. Here, method. Take a long string, note one end of the string and touch it to the one end of the wire. Now, little by little stretch the string along the wire with the help of the thumb and index finger of both your hands. Personal errors. Errors made by the observer while taking the readings, such as parallax error. Second, instrumental errors. Errors while owing to the faculty construction of the instruments. Here is environmental errors. Errors cropping up due to weather conditions, temperature, sound and so on. Error is defined as error is equals to actual value minus measured value. Get it, students? Now, measuring the length of a curved line or object. The length of a curved object or line can be measured with the help of a string. You can learn this through the following activity. Activity 2. Aim to measure the length of a curved wire. Method. Take a long string, note one end of the string and touch it to one end of the wire. Step 2. Now little by little stretch the string along the wire with the help of the thumb and index finger of both your hands. Step 3. When you reach the end, hold the string at that point and mark it with pen. 4. Now straighten the string and measure it along a ruler to get the length of the wire. So students, look at this picture. That's how you have to measure the length with the help of a string. Measure the length of a curved line with a thread. Now we have check and mate. You can do it by yourself as we already read about these things. Now we will discuss about motion. Here, what is motion? What do you observe when you go out? You find many objects moving around you. You find cars, buses, trucks and bicycles moving on the road. All these objects are changing their positions with time. When an object changes its position with time, it is said to be in motion. An object that does not change its position with time is said to be at rest. So students, जब कोई ऑब्जेक्ट टाइम के साथ अपनी पोजीशन को चेंज करती है, दैट इज इन मोशन. वो किस में है? मोशन में है. और जो ऑब्जेक्ट अपनी पोजीशन को चेंज नहीं करती है टाइम के साथ, दैट इज इन रेस्ट. Look at the picture. After 5 seconds, car reaches here. Now come to the next. The position of the moving car changes with time. So students, जो अगर आप कार की बात करेंगे तो कार की पोजीशन क्या हो रही है? चेंज हो रही है. The objects may have slow or fast motions. For example, the motion of a snail is slow as compared to a moving ant. To know how fast or slow the motion of an object, we need to measure the distance traveled with respect to time. That means the distance traveled by the object and the time taken to travel this distance. That means अगर हमें पता करना है कि कौन सी ऑब्जेक्ट फास्ट मूव कर रही है, फास्ट मोशन कर रही है, कौन सी ऑब्जेक्ट स्लो कर रही है, तो हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा? डिस्टेंस और टाइम दोनों चीजों को मेजर करना पड़ेगा. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, नाउ वी हैव टाइप्स ऑफ मोशन. रेक्टिलिनियर मोशन. Motion of a body in a straight line is called rectilinear motion. The motion of a car and the motion of dust particles in air are examples of rectilinear motion. So students, rectilinear motion क्या होता है? जब कोई body straight line में motion करती है. Get it? Look at this picture. Rectilinear motion image. Now we have curvilinear motion. The motion of a body on a curved path is called curvilinear motion. The motion of a train changing its direction and the motion of a stone thrown into water, the examples of curvilinear motion. Get it students? That means जब कोई object curved path के around क्या कर रही है? Motion कर रही है, so that is curvilinear motion. Look at this picture. We have curvilinear motion. Both rectilinear and curvilinear motions are together called translatory motion. Get it students? Now we will discuss about circular motion or rotational motion. When all points on a moving object move about a fixed point or axis of rotation, it is said to have rotational motion. The distance of any point on the object from the fixed axis always remains the same. For example, a ceiling fan shows rotational motion. That means, students, look at this picture. This is circular motion. If we're talking about rotational motion क्या होता है कि कोई ऑब्जेक्ट अपने एक्सिस पे फिक्स है और वो मोशन कर रही है, ठीक है, दैट मीन्स वो सर्कुलर मोशन शो कर रही है, सो दैट इज योर रोटेशनल मोशन. गेट इट? सो स्टूडेंट्स, सपोज कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट अगर फिक्स्ड है और वो मोशन कर रही हो, सो दैट इज रोटेशनल मोशन. लाइक अवर अर्थ, हमारी अर्थ भी जो है रोटेशनल मोशन शो करती है, और हम सीलिंग फैन को भी इसका एग्जाम्पल ले सकते हैं. ओके, नाउ वी हैव पीरियोडिक मोशन. When a body moves in such a way that its motion repeats after the same interval of time, it is said to be in periodic motion. Motion of a fan, the hand of a clock, and the motion of the earth around the sun are examples of periodic motion. Watch the second hand of a clock. It is exactly at the same position after every minute. So students, these are some example of periodic motion. Mainly periodic motion हम define करते हैं जब कोई motion regular interval of time के बाद repeat होता है. Okay, look at this picture, periodic motion. Now we have non-periodic motion. When the motion of a body does not repeat after same interval of time, it is said to be non-periodic motion. Motions of a moving bus, leaves of a plant, moving people are examples of non-periodic motion. The motion of a body may be classified into more than one type. For example, when you walk into your school, it is a rectilinear and non-periodic motion. The motion of a moon around the earth is rotational and periodic. So students, हम किसी एक मोशन को दो टाइप्स में डिफाइन कर सकते हैं. जैसे आपको एग्जाम्पल दिया गया है कि अगर हम स्कूल जाते हैं वो रेक्टिलिनियर मोशन है बट नॉन पीरियोडिक है. जरूरी नहीं कि वो सेम इंटरवल ऑफ टाइम के बाद रिपीट होगा. मून का जो मोशन है अराउंड द अर्थ वो रोटेशनल है और साथ में पीरियोडिक भी. क्यों है पीरियोडिक? क्योंकि वो आफ्टर सेम इंटरवल ऑफ टाइम रिपीट होता है. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, नाउ लुक एट दिस पिक्चर, नॉन पीरियोडिक मोशन. वी हैव a story of transport. Motion is one of the characteristic of living beings. Plant cannot move from their position, but their parts move in different directions. Animals move from one place to another for various reasons, such as finding food, looking for mates, and escaping from predators. Look at these pictures: cart, train, aeroplane, spacecraft. Modes of transport. Motion is very important to humans too. Human beings move long distances in their lifetime. The need for moving helped them evolve an efficient transport system. In the beginning, humans used to walk from one place to another. Then they started using animals for going long distances and to carry load. They also learned to move across water bodies on wooden logs. Gradually, they developed logs into rafts and boats. The invention of the wheel brought a revolution in transportation. They designed carts and carriages. Then came cars and buses. The next invention was the steam engine, which brought in trains. Then the writing started, made the first airplane, and humans started traveling by air. Now humans have traveled to the space and the moon through spacecrafts. However, most of the modern modes of transport consume large amounts of fuel. As the fuel available to us are non-renewable, we need to conserve them very carefully. We also need to do research and look for alternative sources of energy, which are renewable as well as economical. सो स्टूडेंट्स, अगर हम ट्रांसपोर्ट इंडस्ट्री की बात करें तो हमारी ट्रांसपोर्ट इंडस्ट्री में रिवॉल्यूशन आया व्हील और स्टीम इंजन के इन्वेंशन से, और जब से स्टीम इंजन बना है हमारे लिए ट्रांसपोर्टेशन बहुत ईजी हो गया है. नाउ वी हैव चेक एंड वेट. यू कैन डू इट बाय योरसेल्फ एज वी ऑलरेडी रीड अबाउट दीज थिंग्स. What we learn in this chapter, now we will discuss it in a nutshell. To measure a quantity, it is compared with a standard value called unit. The unit of length is meter, the unit of mass is kilogram, the unit of time is second, and the unit of temperature is Kelvin. The SI unit are used all over the world to maintain uniformity. To measure short distances, units like centimeter and meter are used, whereas to measure large distances, kilometer is used. While measuring the length of an object, the scale should be kept straight and read at the correct eye level. Rectilinear motion is the motion of an object in a straight line. Curvilinear motion is the movement of a body along a curved path. Here is some keywords. SI units, International System of Units, which is accepted all over the world. Circular motion, the motion on a round path with the distance of the object remaining same from the central point. Curvilinear motion, motion in a curved line. Motion, the change in position of an object with reference to a stationary point. Here, non-periodic motion, the motion which does not repeat after the same interval of time. Thank you, students. We will meet again in the next chapter.